When senior leaders think about work-life balance, they need to get some misconceptions out of their minds that in many ways are limiting, as it were, progress and satisfaction in life. One of those things is that work-life balance actually makes sense. How much of life is actually truly balanced? It assumes that you're giving equal priority to everything in your life. And even the phrase work-life sets up a distinction between life and the rest of work. But as far as I know, everybody who works is alive. So the idea of work-life balance is a complete misnomer. So I think that's the first thing senior executives need to do, is to challenge those limiting beliefs that somehow make us think that we can have it all. Because the idea of work-life balance has come, in a sense, very much from the industrial age, and from the thinking that you make this distinction between your personal life and your professional life. But a much better phrase, I think, is work-life integration, or even better, life integration. Because what is personal and professional, they impact each other. So if we can integrate our lives fully, then we can achieve more of the, as it were, success and significance that we all long and strive for. An example of bad work-life balance is when we try to live life with no understanding that I'm a human being, not a human doing. And so we, in a sense, live life with no margin. We live with back-to-back meetings. We don't give ourselves time to rest and recuperate. I like to think of it in terms of, it's a typical alpha male macho kind of thing. We just keep going, and then we collapse. No, that is a recipe for burnout and disaster, really. What is much healthier is, if you think of a sine wave, is that periods of activity need to be balanced by periods of rest and recuperation that are as deep and, as if you like, almost as intense as the periods of activity. When you do that, you can keep going indefinitely. And the big trick that often senior leaders don't realize is that when life gets busier, we tend to think, oh, I haven't got time to do the things that rejuvenate me. I haven't got time to spend doing exercise or to take short breaks. I need to just plow on through. But if you do that, you just keep going, you're going to basically burn yourself out. In fact, the counterintuitive trick is that as life gets busier and more intense, that I balance those periods of activities with periods of rest and recuperation, which means that I can go on indefinitely. I'd say it's everything, because you only have one body and you live in it. And if your health suffers because you're burning the midnight oil, you're trying to cram too much into a 24-hour day, you're finding yourself getting more and more ratty and irritated and exhausted. Well, what have you got to give to the world? It's the only body that you have. You only yourself you have. Not to get this right will mean, without downplaying it, will mean disaster for your personal life and your professional life. Because again, as I've tried to emphasize, we are human beings first. We're not human doings. And so much of our life, particularly as senior leaders who enjoy going for the high rewards and for setting high targets and goals themselves, it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in the goals and targets that we've set for ourselves. But that will come at a cost. How much better to pace yourself and really think carefully about, is this goal that I'm striving for really what I should be doing? Is there a better way? Is there a way that's more effective, a way that doesn't drain me and exhaust me? As a senior leader and business owner, how can we effectively manage stress and responsibility together? I think one of the key things to understand is that you can never fully manage life. You can manage your energy, but you can't fully manage and control life. We live in a world that has information and data and meetings and things coming at us from left, right, and center. And the only person I can truly control in this situation is myself. I can control my response to whatever is going around me. And particularly in this day and age where technology is on 24/7, so there's no clear finish lines, no clear way to end work. We need to be able to make sure that we put the right boundaries in place so that we are not on all the time. Otherwise, that's going to be a recipe for burnout, for damaging stress, and for damaging effects on our health and well-being. I think the first thing I'd say is understanding its work-life integration. It's all of life. It's not just work and opposed to my life, but the things that I do in my day-to-day job and the rest of my life are integrated together. So that, as they say on an aeroplane, in times of decompression in the cabin, put on the oxygen mask on yourself first before putting it onto anybody else. And so if I can make sure that my self-care is optimized so that I can give my, as it were, put my best foot forward into my work life, then that is the best way. So that's simple things like sleep, good nutrition, ensuring that I have times of rest and recuperation so that I can, as it were, put my best foot forward. That's going to make a big difference, along with the insights from a coach as well, to think about what are the priorities that I'm setting. Are these healthy priorities and healthy targets? What is the best way to pace myself for the long haul? There's no point getting to the end of your life, or to get the end of your year and looking back with regret, saying I wish I'd done something different and made different choices to the ones that I made before. I think one of the key factors is that we are living in a day and age that is always on. Technology is on 24/7, and there's always another email to answer. There's always another meeting to go to. There's always another thing that we can do. And there are no, well, unless we create them, there are no hard edges. And I think there is this mindset, this belief that we can allow to filter into our minds, that I just need to get this done and then I can relax. The problem is getting this done means that something else comes up, something else comes up, something else comes up. And so work can, as it were, can become all consuming. If I can grasp the concept that if I become a fully well-rounded individual in body, mind, and spirit, fully integrated, then I can be fully immersed wherever I am. When I'm in my work, I can be fully immersed in my work. When I'm at home with my family, I can be fully immersed there, rather than, as it were, wishing I was in one place or somewhere else than when I am. So the power to be fully engaged and fully present is, one, very effective, but also it's incredibly fulfilling. And that's what I really seek to help my clients with, to know that is actually possible, to have a life of significance and where you feel fully integrated from the inside out.